It's like the news, but for nerds. Subscribe so you never miss an episode. Nerd Avengers, what is up? It is Josh, and this is your Nerdy News Rundown for Tuesday, June 8th, 2021. We will mostly be focusing about The Mandalorian Season 3. Some crazy news out there. Pedro Pascal saying the show hasn't even begun to start filming yet. Other people reporting that it will be some time before you see it, but maybe not. We'll get into the details. There's also some Blue Beetle news, which is kind of interesting for DC fans. The film essentially being made for HBO Max, which there's already complaining about, and we'll talk about what people have to say and why they're conflicted about that. But first, let's begin with the fact that it was the night before Loki, and all throughout the internet, the hype was real. Loki airs tomorrow, and there is a ton of cool buzz online and promotions being done by Disney. I found this one that Lucky Charms is doing to be, well, pretty charming. They're doing a limited edition run of Loki Charms, and there's a special way to try to unlock an encryption on a website to get some of the first ability to buy it. It's going to be super limited, and I'm hoping to grab a couple of boxes myself. I honestly just think it's super fun. I love Marvel. I love getting hyped for things like this. I'd probably do this kind of stuff no matter what, if the show was good or not. But frankly, I'm pretty confident that Loki's going to be a game changer for Marvel Studios. There's a lot of positive buzz, not only about the show and the chemistry between Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston, but about the impact it will have on the future of the MCU. And it's apparently getting people very, very excited. By the way, we will be doing a watch party for Loki tonight. Chime in over on our live streaming channel at around 2:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be going live, chatting it up, getting ready to check out Loki, and then we'll all watch it live together, break down what we saw in the episode. It's going to be really fun. Check out the live streaming channel for that. Now let's talk about the Blue Beetle film, which I wasn't even sure was actually going to happen, but now is confirmed to be happening, but being developed straight for HBO Max. In a Los Angeles Times article titled "Theaters or HBO Max, Warner Bros. Movie Plans Take Shape as Discovery Merger Looms," they detail that the Blue Beetle film, as well as the Batgirl film, will become exclusively released on HBO Max. Now, this is a really interesting strategy, as it is different than the one they had where all of the films would get day-and-date releases. Now it seems like they're going to make certain films actually just release on HBO Max, specifically for HBO Max, to sort of add some value over there, while other films, presumably bigger films, I guess, films that would have a bigger box office draw, will still get a theatrical release window and then end up on HBO Max, sort of trying to grow the value of HBO Max and that eventual, streaming big bucket of money with the theatrical thing and going back to the theaters. Now, I've seen a lot of people conflicted about this, people, that tend to really like the movies and have been sort of cheering for the movie theater, versus the streaming service in this weird conflict that is absolutely happening. Like, I completely acknowledge that it's happening. I, of course, am someone more on the streaming side of things, even though I love the theatrical release. I think the future is pretty soundly not only in streaming, but in new and futuristic ways to experience stream. But for now, we, of course, live in a world where people have really been, in their homes for a long, long time and are looking to go out and experience things perhaps more than ever in their life before. And I do think that the theatrical release window, once we sort of get past some of the weirdness in other parts of the world and theaters fully opening up, I think once we get past that, box office will boom. In fact, more than I originally anticipated. I think that Spider-Man 3 has the potential to be a billion-dollar movie, which would be such an insane sort of comeback for the box office. But I still believe that we live in a world where the digital release factor and the fact that regardless of whether or not a movie releases in theaters or not, it's likely going to end up on digital much quicker, because that's just the world we live in now. I think you're going to start to see more and more people waiting, and not going to the theater for all of the big movies. So this strategy might actually be a good one moving forward. Regardless, that's sort of the story and my thoughts on it. I definitely want to know what you guys think about this, so let me know your thoughts about the theatrical release window, Blue Beetle, Batgirl going to HBO Max. What does it do for you? Does it mean that those movies are maybe less valuable? Are you looking forward to them less, or you still think they're awesome and hyped that you're going to be able to check them out essentially at no additional cost to your HBO Max subscription, service cost? Whatever you're thinking, let me know in the comments section below. And now let's get into a story that, while I'm not exactly pumped to be talking about. It is certainly something that's making news out there in the nerdy internet, and this would all be about Pedro Pascal and comments that he made in an interview with Ewan McGreggor about how The Mandalorian Season 3 has not started filming yet. Here's a clip from that interview right here.
Have you shot a third season, or are you doing it now?
We haven't shot a third season, so confidentially,
Are you like?
no, maybe I shouldn't.
Oh, no.
Now, a lot of people thought this was genuine, and I had actually seen a couple of different pretty reputable sites talk about how this was a thing, and it likely meant that The Mandalorian Season 3 would not be here for some time, as if it hadn't been started at all. Then holy cow, that's a lot to accomplish, and there's no way you're going to see it anytime soon. However, Jordan Mason, who is an insider and scooper out there, came out and revealed that he, in fact, can say for sure that the Season 3 of The Mandalorian has been filming. In fact, there's some indication, I think Jordan's backing this up, there's a couple other people backing this up, that Season 3 of The Mandalorian has actually wrapped. That's it. It literally had a wrap party. Now, when it comes to what Pedro is saying here, there's a couple of different things that could be going on. Number one, of course, he could just be lying. Actors lie all the time. But I don't know, it seems kind of genuine in the way that he's talking about it here. Your mileage may vary on that. How you believe him or not, it's totally an option either way that he is just straight up lying. Also possible, this is a very old interview, although I don't know, man. It seems like it's kind of recent. I mean, you know, Ewan looks very similar to the way he looked in that late night show interview that we saw him do recently. And the other option here is that there's still a disconnect between Pedro himself and The Mandalorian Season 3. You will recall a big story about drama behind the scenes of The Mandalorian Season 2, drama which I absolutely believe did happen in some capacity. I think the only real question is, how big of a deal was the drama with Pedro Pascal? Was it all right? Did it work itself out? And we, of course, know that the cast and the show is short one of its main players, and this would be, of course, Gina Carano, who also went through a big, social media debacle, was fired, some people say very unfairly and very unprofessionally, on Twitter by Lucasfilm. And so there could be all sorts of things going on with The Mandalorian Season 3. I've also heard it speculated that Pedro Pascal may have been shooting The Last of Us, thing, the project that he signed up for, or working on The Last of Us, and therefore they mostly used body doubles in Season 3 of The Mandalorian, and he'll come in and shoot voiceover, much more similar to what had happened in Season 1 of The Mandalorian, so who knows, read into that for what you will, and again, this is mostly speculation. The bottom line is, this is a developing story, okay? But it is a story. People are curious. People are wondering what is happening with Mandalorian Season 3. We also got news that the Book of Boba Fett has officially wrapped. There's some interesting indication that we could get multiple seasons of the Book of Boba. Is that going to be the direction they head in instead of focusing on the Mandalorian character? We don't know for sure. There's indication that the show has been shooting, and perhaps it may not be called Mandalorian. Maybe there's something going on that we can't quite explain, or we don't fully understand with the limited information we have for now. But when Pedro came out and said this, a lot of people, again, took it very seriously and reported that this means for sure that The Mandalorian Season 3 had not been filming. That is not what I'm reporting to you right now. Jordan Mason and many other people are backing up that Mandalorian Season 3, or at least the team that was together for Mandalorian Season 2, have not only been shooting, but probably wrapped Season 3 already. So a weird little Star Wars story for you. Again, it's a developing story. We will keep an eye on any developments. There's some, weird feelings and vibes when it comes to The Mandalorian Season 3, and just in general with what's going on with Star Wars. I remain confident that a lot of this coming content is going to be absolutely dope, but holy crap, do I hope that it gets here really soon so we don't have to talk about weird little stories like this. Let us know your thoughts about this in the comments section below. Again, make sure you are checking out the live streaming channel, where we will be doing a watch party for all the episodes of Loki this season, and many watch parties ahead. And as I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.